I recorded this live on Instagram, so I'm going to be looking up a little bit higher, but I wanted to give this information to my YouTube people too. Um, One thing that I see a lot in this industry being art for product, surface pattern design, illustration, hand lettering, basically any sort of art for product. Um, one thing that I'm sure this isn't just our industry, but I see it a lot in our industry, and something that I really try to address in all the programs that I have, all the classes and resources that I offer: confidence, lack thereof. There is such a lack of confidence that I see from designers who are getting into this business, who have been in this business, who are way ahead of me in this business, and they don't have the confidence that they need to have in order to be successful, to advocate for themselves, to um, have the kind of relationships with clients that can really be beneficial rather than sort of feeling like you're getting taken advantage of. um, Confidence goes into all of those things. And I have said this before, but certainly this industry is dominated by women. And women have not been raised mostly to be as confident as males, basically. So that could play into it, but I am here to, through my programs and through just me, talking with you on Instagram, to try to give you the confidence that you need to move forward in your career. And part of the reason I do that is because it really, really, really pains me seeing people who are super talented, or even if they're not like incredible artists, are good enough artists, are could be having successful careers, but they don't have the confidence to really go for what they, yes, let's change that. They don't have the confidence to go for what they deserve, what works for them. So a lot of the red flags I see around confidence here, tell me if any of these, hits a note with you. Red flags that show me more, very obviously that you or someone else in the industry has low confidence. One, overworking. Like if you're working nonstop, if you're working, 60 hours a week, that feels like a confidence problem to me. You don't, maybe, and this is not attack on anyone, don't get me wrong. You might just have a lot of work and good for you, but boundaries are such an important part of having a business of your own. And you need to have confidence to set boundaries with clients and with what you accept for your work. And so when you are working nonstop, a lot of the times to me, that's saying that you just don't quite have the confidence that you need to be able to set those boundaries. Another thing that I see a lot is over delivering, right? When you are doing way more than you need to, when you're being a super, super perfectionist, you're trying to give the absolute best experience. There's nothing wrong with wanting to give a good experience, give a good product, give good artwork to your clients. You should want to do all those things. But there is a difference between giving a good, doing a good job at what you signed on to do, and doing way more than you signed on to do because you're trying to be agreeable. And that's a sign that you don't have as much confidence as I would love to see, because you're not willing to put your foot down and sort of say, this isn't quite what I signed on for, or is there any way we can make some changes with these expectations? Um, Not owning your expertise. Everyone has some form of expertise, all right? Even if you're brand new to this industry, you know something about something, okay? And it might be about a totally different industry. Maybe it's you have a graphic design background, maybe you have a teaching background, maybe you I don't know, do color mixing in your spare time, and so you're really good with color. Everyone has a little bit of something special that they can bring to a career, whether it's a brand new career, or whether it's, something that they've been doing for ages. You all have something special to bring to that, but we forget and we downplay the things that we are experts at. I do this as well, like there are lots of things that I'm just like, "Oh yeah, that's just, I just do that." And it's not until other people say, "Wait a second, how do you do that? What that makes so much sense. Why didn't I ever think of that?" That I'm like, "Oh, I guess that's, you know, that's a thing." But yeah, confidence makes a big difference if you are, at a point where you're not really owning your expertise. Another red flag, we're talking about confidence, red flags. When I know that you might not have enough confidence, overworking, over delivering, not owning your expertise, underpricing. You guys are guilty of this. I'm guilty of it too sometimes. I'm not above that, but underpricing your work, thinking that if you price low, that is going to get you the job more likely get you the job, more likely secure the contract, more likely make you seem agreeable and great to work with and call this girl back again. But there's a limit to that. And I do believe in, we have to build our confidence. I'm going to get to how to build our confidence in a little bit, but you know, we have to build our confidence. It's not easy to come out guns a-blazing being like, I can charge whatever I want for my artwork or my services or whatever. I understand that we have to build our confidence. But where I'm seeing that lack of confidence is never adjusting your prices as you have more and more work and more to offer a client, not pushing your prices up because you're lacking that confidence. Apologetic language is a big one for me. Oh my goodness, guys, this one is like, I'm like, no, please stop. When I see, people's, I don't know, captions or emails or just the way they talk, sometimes hearing certain people talk, where everything they're saying sounds like an apology, sounds like wishy-washy, sounds like, I think that maybe I could possibly help you with something to do with design. That hurts my heart because you could more than maybe possibly sort of kind of help somebody. You can be like an amazing asset to a company with your design skills. So all of those things are things that I'm always trying to encourage designers to try to move past. And those are the things that stick out to me, that when I see them, I'm like, oh, I feel so badly because I see so many designers I respect, so many designers I look up to, that I feel like don't always have the confidence that they should. And I'm like trying to think of how I want to say this. It's not that you have to be like arrogant about your skill set. That's the thing. I think we get programmed to think that any sort of confidence is like arrogance. That's not it at all. Hopefully you aren't arrogant. No one really, enjoys that. But just being able to kind of hold your ground and hold your boundaries and confidently say with conviction that you can help someone with their art project or whatever it is, that is so, so, so important. So what does that have to do with mazes? I wanted to tell you this story that I realized the other day. Let's think about how, as an adult, like if I were to right now give you like a maze, like a literal, something where you start here and you have to draw your pencil over to the end, an actual paper maze. If I were to put that in front of you as an adult, how would you approach that maze? Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you. So this is how I imagine, tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but this is how I would probably approach a maze, how I feel like adults approach mazes. We look at the paper, we might put our pencil down, We kind of look to see the first few steps, the first few turns before we make any marks at all. We're looking to see, the first few turns. We don't want to see, we're trying to avoid dead ends. So we're thinking about like, okay, so if I go there and there, that seems like it'll work. Depending on how complex the maze is, we might get like halfway through before we start moving our pencil. Or maybe if it's an easier maze, we go all the way through and then trace it with our pencil. If it's more complex and we've started to like figure it out, we might start to move our pencil along the path that we've planned out. But when we get to that spot that we've gone a wrong turn, we sort of pull back, pick up our pencil, bring it back to the last part that we think might be right, and then start tracing it. Well, then we wait and pause and look again at the next at the next possible turn, and we slowly kind of work our way. We're very hesitant, I think. I mean, this is how I feel like I do mazes. Tell me if I'm wrong. We can be hesitant to make that mark because we're trying to avoid the dead ends that are in like an actual paper maze. Now let me explain to you how my 4-year-old does mazes. I would totally pre-plan my route, adjust as I needed to go. Yeah, that's how I think we would all do. I want to tell you how my 4-year-old does mazes. And I realized I was trying to stop him. Like, why am I trying to stop him? Turns the page of the coloring book. There's a maze there, puts his pencil down, whips right into it, totally hits a dead end, doesn't pick the pencil up, just kind of curves back around, goes back to where he was, whips the pencil around to the next dead end. Oh, he does a little bit of a U-turn, keeps going, never picks up the pencil, certainly never hesitates to figure out what the next step might be. And Finn, he gets to the end. So look, why am I talking about all this? You might be able to see some parallels, right? Whether you pre-plan and try to figure it out, or even, try to go backwards, or whatever your methods are, or don't put down your pencil, or whether you just whip it around and like my 4-year-old and just zoom into whatever the dead end is, and then you turn around and keep going. No matter which one, guess what? We both make it to the end, right? Most likely. He gets there. I mean, we're not giving him genius level mazes, but he gets to the end and we get to the end too, right? And which one was faster, really? I don't know. We can't do that kind of comparison. I don't have that kind of statistics in front of me. But the point is, in your career, you are going to hit dead ends that you could not have conceived of. You could not have imagined when you had your pencil poised at the beginning, at the start, that you started to move along in your careful path, and you didn't account for the fact that you were going to hit whatever dead ends. That doesn't mean we need to pick our pencil up and start at the beginning again. It's okay. We can just do a little U-turn, all right? We can just do a little U-turn like a 4-year-old doing a maze and keep it moving, because that's okay. There's no one's sitting there judging us on our maze abilities, right? If someone comes around to you while you're doing a paper maze and says, "Oh, looks like you're messing that up real good because you've got a couple dead ends going," that person's not cool. All right. Just tell that person to buzz off. And that's the way it should be for our careers. If we are, as long as we're going along and doing the best we can do, if we hit some dead ends, some things that don't quite work out, sometimes we have to U-turn and keep it moving and try a different direction, try a different tact, but that's totally okay. And having the confidence to understand that even if you get started and hit a dead end, you're going to turn it around and keep moving, and it's not the end of the world. That is such a valuable skill. That is something that we all need to embrace. We need to love. We need to believe in ourselves for that purpose. And I think that comes, so I have a new program called Surface Pattern Biz Builder. Applications are open today. That's part of the reason that I'm thinking about all these things, because this program is a group coaching program, and it's for people who are a little bit farther in their career, not total beginners, okay? This is for people who know how to do some of the marketing, who know how to create their portfolios, hopefully have a portfolio, but they're at that dead end part where they're like, I feel like I need to pick up my pencil, or I need to really just like focus and do the work. Like I know how to do it. I just need to focus and contact clients or pitch myself or redo my website or whatever it is. I just need to focus. And you're beating yourself up over the idea of you not putting in enough work or staying on track enough. And I wanted to tell you guys that that is the opposite of what you need to be doing, the opposite of what you need to be doing, because you don't want to be beating yourself up. You need confidence in this business. You need confidence to do all the things we've been talking about, how to make sure you're not working too hard, to make sure you are pricing your work fairly, to make sure you're having confident language when you're pitching yourself. You need confidence. And if you've been beating yourself up because you can't focus because you're not sending out enough pitches or you're not doing whatever it is that you think you should be doing, then you're shooting yourself in the foot, So that's my whole spiel about confidence. And Biz Builder is, like I said, it's my group program that's for a little bit more intermediate. And with all my programs, whether you're a beginner or more intermediate, confidence plays a huge role. I'm always trying to build confidence by explaining the way the industry works. Having been in the industry for 20 years, explaining, things that we might take personally aren't personal, and explaining that, no one is really that worried if you do something the quote unquote wrong way or whatever all the things that you have in your mind that you can't do because that's going to mess everything up. Hopefully I have the perspective, or I do have the perspective, but hopefully specifically on your situations, where I can say like, hey, I've seen this happen here, I've seen this happen here, I've talked to this artist who's done this, and sort of explain that, what you are pre-planning for and trying not to hit any dead ends in your maze for really doesn't need to be that serious, doesn't need to take away that confidence from you, that you are empowered and you have the confidence to just whip through that maze like my 4-year-old does. And so that is what is going on with Surface Pattern Biz Builder as well. I'm going to be working in a small group. It's a small group program with at most 15 people, to kind of go over what specifically you need support with. But we're going to focus on 3 main categories, and those categories are pitching yourself, email templates for client interactions, and contracts and negotiations. This is a 3-month program, so one of those subjects per month. And through live programs and stuff like that, we're going to be talking about what our issues are with those various topics, what the roadblocks we're hitting are. I'm going to be offering insight. I'm going to offer resources, and I'm going to make it hopefully a little bit more like doing a maze that my 4-year-old would like to do. I'm going to hopefully gamify it a bit because I'm adding in challenges around the topics to kind of motivate you to do the things that we need to do to market ourselves. So I'm really excited about this new program. And as I said, applications are open now. They're only open for 5 days because it starts on March 1st, so I need to look over the applications. The only reason I have an application form is because I need to make sure that, as I said, it's a little bit more intermediate. I want to understand that you get the basics of how to run a business, because I have a program called Start Your Surface Pattern Business that is perfect for you if you have no idea how to move yourself forward. And I don't want to revisit that. I want to kind of go deeper with this program. So I have that application. You can check my bio. You'll see Surface Pattern Biz Builder if you want to apply. Will the contracts portion also include how to track them? How to track them, meaning like keep track of who you have signed contracts with. Maybe. I say maybe because I really wanna tailor this. This is what I'm kind of loving about the idea that this is a group program. I want to talk about what people are struggling with. I want to, like, at the beginning of each month, while I do have, like, of course, I have some things that I plan to hit upon. I also want to, and some resources I plan to share. I also want to hear what people are struggling with. So if someone in the group, Jennifer, if you're in this group and that's something that you're struggling with, and we talk about that the first week, then I'm going to come correct with resources for you the second week and provide that sort of support that you need. And that's what I love about this group program, because I can't, in my classes, I have, for Start Your Surface Pattern Business, I have a Facebook group. I answer questions. I do office hours. I do try to, of course, address the questions that you have. But in this small group setting, I'm really excited to be able to dig into what you're struggling with and address that. So, all right, people, that is my spiel about confidence, mazes, surface pattern biz builder. Tomorrow, I'm going to be back at this exact same time, 2:30, and I'm going to be talking about mentorship and motivation. So if you are interested, come check that out. I love having you guys. Thanks so much for watching.